Good evening, podcast world, and those out there on Facebook Live. Time for another episode of Things My Mother Never Told Me.
Ooh-wee, yes it is.
Can you say hello?
Hey, how's everybody out there? Thank you for joining us on this evening.
Yeah, well, it's been a minute. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back again. Got another one of our special guests on here.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Tamika, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Doing good. Like we said when we were just chatting a minute ago, we're going to read your bio and then ask you some questions and let you tell your story.
All right.
All right, Tina.
All right then, everybody out there in Facebook land. Here we have Miss Tamika Brown. She is the President and Chief Experience Officer of RSVP Premier Group LLC, meeting event, experimental marketing, incentive, concierge, and lifestyle management company based in Troy, Michigan. It was founded in 2005. This group also became certified as the Women's Business Enterprise WBE in 2013 by the Great Lakes Women's Business Council. After obtaining the WB certification, RSVP Premier Group experienced a significant growth in business and received several honorable mentions. With over 15 years of meeting and event experience, Tamika has planned numerous conferences, meetings, special events, trade shows, experimental marketing events for several Fortune 500 companies, associations, and nonprofit organizations nationwide. She is the graduate of the prestigious Dartmouth Tuck School of Business, and she publishes a bi-weekly newsletter, News You Can Use, and is set to launch her podcast, The Meeting Masters, in the summer of 2022. She is very active in the community and believes in giving back. She served as a mentor at Winning Futures, where she mentored students at the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy. She and her staff also support the Genesis House Women's Shelter, Forgotten Harvest, the North End Youth Improvement Council's annual Adopt a Child Christmas program, and most recently, Pope Francis Center of Detroit. All right, Facebook, let's welcome Miss Tamika Brown.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Well, I'm tired just hearing all that.
Ooh, it was a lot, wasn't it? I love it.
So real quick, first thing I'm gonna ask you is one thing we ask all our guests. What high school did you go to?
Denby, East Side.
Okay,
All
good.
I grew up on
right.
the east side of Detroit.
East side in the house.
Wonderful.
Well, I was
Talent from all over.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
I was east side
Okay.
for life, so I'm feeling you. So, whoa, we got a lot going on here.
I know we do.
So 2005, what drove you to get into this industry?
Well, I was always the one in my family and amongst my friends that was always planning events, informal events, things such as family reunions, girls' trips, birthday parties. And I knew it was something that I loved and enjoyed doing. Well, at that time, there really wasn't a formal education program or certification program to become an event planner. That task was typically handled by like the secretary in an office or someone else as like other duties as assigned to like plan the holiday party or things of that nature. And so it was something that I always enjoyed doing. And so it wasn't until 2004 that I attended a wealth building seminar. And the premise of the seminar was about how to build wealth, how to take a hobby and turn it into a business. And so they asked the question, what is it that you enjoy doing that is your passion that you would do for free? So it didn't take me long to figure that out because this was something that I was doing on the side. Like I said, I was always planning things for family and friends, get-togethers. I was always familiar with the latest restaurants, venues, things in and around the city, as well as places that I visited that I thought were good places. I always kept notes of places like, of my good experiences.
Right.
So I sat down and I thought about it at that seminar and I said, well, this is something that I enjoy doing, is basically planning events. The problem was there wasn't really a formal program for that at that time. Now you see it's very popular now, but 17, almost 18 years ago, it wasn't as popular then as it is now. So that's kind of where I started. And I continued to do it for family and friends. I started volunteering for with nonprofit organizations because they're
Okay.
always planning events. Because I had no idea, like, where am I going to find clients outside of my family and
Family.
friends.
Right.
Mhm.
So I thought about nonprofits and associations because they're always planning fundraisers and different events. And so I started volunteering, and that's when I really realized that I really have a passion for doing this. And it opened up my eyes to the various types of meeting and event planners. You've got
Mhm.
planners that plan weddings, you have those that plan events and galas, you have those that are that plan conferences and trade shows,
Mhm.
corporate planners, you name it, live event production. So it just exposed me to a whole world of events.
Okay.
And then I started joining professional organizations and attending trade shows. And then it kind of just started, and from there.
Well, you are a perfect example of, because we talked in the past with some of our guests about internships,
Mhm.
and I would venture to say that your volunteering to do different things was a variation of internship, and
Mhm.
so it shows that we can start out just doing it because we love doing it
Mhm.
and offering our time, and it'll lead us somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's wonderful. I'm looking at, you were the recipient of the Business on the Rise Award from Stiletto Magazine. What was that all about?
So that was a company down in Cleveland who was recognizing and honoring women all around the country in various categories.
Mhm.
And at that time, I think I had been in business maybe about 5 years.
Okay.
And so the publisher of the magazine, of course, we had to submit our bio and information about our businesses, but she looked on our website, and we, communicated with each other back and forth so that she could learn more about our business, and come to find out that she, thought that we would be a good candidate for the Business on the Rise because of the things that we were doing, and how she thought that that was, trailblazing in the industry.
Mhm.
And so it was an honor to receive that. It was a awards program down in Atlanta, and there were maybe 10, 12 different categories, and women from all over the country in various industries were being recognized. So I was pleased and thankful to be a part of that
All right.
recognition.
Yeah, so you drawing eyes from everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I'm looking at your bio. You have several awards that your business has won. RSVP MVP Most Valuable Professional Award from Corp Magazine.
Mhm.
In 2018, 2019, nominated by Michigan Meetings and Events Magazine as the best event planner in Metro
Mhm.
Detroit.
Mhm.
So how does one climb that ladder?
Well, again, we plan a variety of different events, and they have various categories that, when they're looking for businesses to recognize, they have criteria that you have to meet.
Mhm.
And so we fit the category in terms of the type of events that we plan and the various clients that we work with. So there was an application process where we had to submit and show them, evidence of some of our previous events.
Okay.
And we were ranked amongst with some of the other event professionals in the industry as well.
Mhm.
And so we were nominated. We didn't actually win the award, but we were one of the finalists for a couple of years in a row.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
were appreciative of being recognized and honored for, the type of work that we do.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Well, I mean, being nominated is like, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Like being nominated for the Academy Awards, they
That's
still
right.
recognize you as being nominated for a
Right.
Golden Globe, even if you don't
Even
win.
if you
That's
don't
right.
win. Because from now on, it's like Academy Award nominated.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You still get kudos for that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you do.
Right, because that proves that you doing good things and people like what you're
Yeah,
doing.
you
So
getting the recognition. Yeah.
what would, if you can share with us, what would be the biggest event that you've planned or worked with?
That's a
The
good
largest event that we planned was a multi-day event for a client down in Miami. And it was 4 days, 5,000 attendees.
Okay.
And so it had various components, and we've done several events since then, following the same format. There were networking sessions, there were educational sessions, there were keynote speakers.
Okay.
There were general sessions that everyone is invited to. The breakout sessions is where attendees get to select which tracks of workshops and educational, programs that they want to attend.
Right.
It was a trade show component. We had live demonstrations, evening galas and events. So things were held in multiple locations, multiple days. So it was a huge task. And so we've done several of those. That's kind of our format now, but that was probably one of the largest with 5,000. We
Okay.
do annual events for some of our clients now where the attendees, similar to that, multi-day, various components, trade shows, networking events, galas, for about 1,500 attendees to 3,000. That's
Okay.
kind of our norm.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. And so, and so, how much? Because I don't know if this is the right question, but how much of the whole component are you responsible for? Is it the entire thing, or just the scheduling?
That is a good question. We plan the entire event. So, as an independent meeting and event company, because we are a corporate planning company, oftentimes those corporations may have an internal person or department, and they will reach out to us to manage every aspect. We will plan everything from creating the registration, designing the website, developing sponsorship packages, selecting a venue, food and beverage, you name it, booking speakers, developing workshop topics, managing transportation, room blocks. It all depends. So we are capable of planning every aspect of your event, or if you reach out to us and just need assistance with a certain aspect of it. If you want us to come in and do design and decor for your event, if you want us to come in and help you with the theme, if you want us to do the registration and manage, we will, we can manage the entire scope of the event or just a select portion based upon what the scope of your needs are.
Yeah, what they
Wow. Wow.
And we like to specialize by letting our clients know that we allow them, by bringing us in as an independent company, we allow our clients to focus on their core aspect of their business and allow us to manage the entire process. So whether it's doing, like I said, managing just one small aspect, the events that I just mentioned to you, we plan the full scale of those events.
Wow.
So everything, and the planning usually is anywhere from like 8 months to a year sometimes, especially if it's an annual event. We start kind of like right after we wrap up the previous year's event.
Okay. And so, can you tell us how big is your staff?
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. So we have a core staff of 7, but I have independent freelance contractors that work with us up to 30. So it depends on how the nature or the scope of the event.
Right.
I have a full-time, shout out to Sharon. She's my project manager. She keeps all of our events on task and on track. Angela Nisi, she keeps us on budget. So we manage the budgetary aspects of it. So you can't have an event without keeping track of the cost. And so clients definitely want to see that.
Right.
And then I have on-site staff like Edie and different people that assist us on site with registration. My mom works with me as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we get everybody involved, but yeah, and I actually bring on interns. I actually just had an intern to work with us this past weekend, and she did a phenomenal job. And so when we're doing large scale events, we have a team of about 30. It's always my core 7, and we'll reach out to our independent contractors to bring them in to support us as well.
Right.
Sound right. So now what I was hearing is this Black girl magic all the way around?
All the way. You got it. Got it.
All right.
You got it. But what I want to say to that is that being a woman-owned business and being a minority in this business and being a certified minority-owned business as well, that is important that we are represented, and that when you're hiring us, that, you're not hiring us just because that we are a minority or a woman base, but we're just looking for that opportunity, but we're going to bring it when we come. We're going to bring that level of professionalism and that level of excellence that you've never seen before. And so I take pride in having a diverse staff of minorities, of women. We have men, we have veterans, and we try to be very inclusive. And so that's very important when you show up at an event.
Right.
You want to have a diverse staff. And so we have worked with the Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So I have volunteers that have worked with us from there. And so we definitely try to have present a diverse mixture of staff whenever we're on site. And my vendor team that I work with to execute these events, we can't do it all ourselves.
Right.
So the audiovisual companies that I bring in, lighting designers, production companies, of course, we make sure that they are, that they have the same level of excellence that we demonstrate. And but if we can work with minority companies in the process, that's a win-win for us. And so we definitely look for those opportunities.
Okay. Wow. I'm even more impressed because I've been following your journey from halfway afar anyway for a few years. So I am very impressed, and well, that's why we asked you to be on the show.
Thank you.
I was thinking, like, who can I have on? I said, Tamika.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me ask you, the Dartmouth Tuck School of Business, what was that all about?
Oh my God, that was a wonderful program. It is still ongoing. Dartmouth is a very prestigious Ivy League college in New Hampshire, and they have several different schools. But the School of Business, we received a scholarship from one of our clients to attend this program, and it was for minority business owners that were looking to scale their businesses.
Okay.
And the whole program was developing a high-performing minority business, because as I stated, we don't lead with the fact that we're a minority company, but when you see us, I mean, this is who we are.
Right.
Okay. So you can't hide from that, and we're not trying to, but we're saying that we can provide the same level of service, if not greater, if just given the opportunity.
Yes.
So the program was a 7-day intense program where they flew us out to New Hampshire. We stayed, we were like locked on campus.
Okay.
And it was minority businesses from all over the country, actually all over the world. One of the participants was from Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken. But he had a lot of US business. And so the program was very intense. Again, we stayed on campus. We met every day. It was a very rigorous program taught by professors at Tuck University. And they taught us everything from accounting principles and practices to diversity and inclusiveness, and including that into your program. Just every aspect, developing in your business plans, things of that nature, learning about profit and loss statements, cash flow statements. A lot of us work in our business, doing the actual business, no matter what it is, including myself. Right. But sometimes, you may kind of lack working on your business, which meaning your business plan and your strategic goals and those kind of things. So that program definitely helped us to put all those things in perspective, and definitely taught us tools that we could utilize like immediately once we came back from the program.
Wow. Goodness gracious. Why couldn't somebody send me to some? Oh no, that's another story.
That's a whole nother topic. Okay.
Self-made man.
I know, right?
Ooh-wee. So let me ask you, well, you got something you want to ask, King?
No, I was just talking about being a mentor and advisor to the other entrepreneurs. I found that very amazing, and just the importance of all the things that they need to do to get started. Because we have a daughter that has a business online as well.
Okay.
And she had partnered with someone. And then she ended up having to get a lawyer and all that other kind of stuff. So she could definitely, because like you say, she was doing majority of the work and all that.
Right. Well, she learned the lesson, and a friend of mine learned years ago the lesson that is, you can partner with people, but you better make sure you have your paperwork
in order. Yeah.
Because you can wind up getting caught short when the person you're working with does crazy things. So that's what happened.
Absolutely. Well, I do a lot of mentoring as myself, as well as my staff members. And so we mentor students at Michigan State University, as well as Michigan, University of Michigan. Both universities have schools of business and hospitality, and some of them specifically related to events. So we've been brought in to speak to those students that are interested in getting into the industry. And we come in and come speak once a quarter and explain to them the ins and outs about the whole industry. And just so that they can, fully understand the full scope. People see the outcome, but they don't know the behind the scenes and what goes into planning an event, running a business. They don't see that. They just see the end result. So we go in and talk to them about, we give it to them straight, we kind of let them know, there's always problems behind the scenes. We just make it, seamless to our guests and to our clients. You got to be a quick thinker. You got to be very well organized. And so we go in and kind of mentor them and help guide them. If this is an industry for them, we just want them to be aware of everything that it takes. It's definitely not a 9 to 5. You put in a lot of long hours. You've got to really be a forward thinker. You have to be very detail oriented, very organized. And so it's been very rewarding. I love talking to the young folks. They keep you young.
Yes, they do.
They truly do. And if there's any way that we can help and inspire someone, that's definitely important to me.
Right. Now, this is a aside. Would you have thought back in 2002, 1, 3 and all that you would be mentoring college students on what you love to do?
No, I never thought about it like that again, because I just looked at it that this is just something I truly enjoy doing. So I never thought about it. And then once I did my research and started talking with other people, there were people along the way that mentored me and provided me with guidance. And so I just want to be able, it's been very instrumental in helping me build my business and hone in on my craft, and I just want to turn around and do the same, for someone else. So never really thought about it like that, but I'm glad that I'm here and I love it.
And just like you said, since you started yours, and as the years progress, there's so many people that started it. I got my little daughter in love now. She printing up flyers and she's starting out just like you did, her family, doing the family, girlfriends or whatever, do their little birthday parties. And I tell that's how stuff starts,
Absolutely. It's got to start. You got to plant the seed. It's got to start from somewhere,
Right.
So why not start doing something that you have a passion for doing as opposed to doing something? So it made the learning curve easy for me because it was something I enjoyed doing. So you got to enjoy it.
Right. And you got to have that desire to be good at what you enjoy too.
And you have to be teachable. There's always teachable moments.
Yeah, there you go.
I would say that's very important. We're still learning things, especially now, since COVID, the way we do business is different. Our supply chain was totally disrupted with COVID because there were no events. So that meant that meant not only for event professionals or event planners, you're talking the hotel staffs, the audiovisual companies, production companies, the rental companies. All of those folks were out of business. So a lot of them, unfortunately, found other things and other industries to get into, and they didn't come back. And that's understandable, but it's, they took a lot of knowledge and expertise with them.
Right.
So we have some challenges in the industry, but those that are here, there are some that were able to come back or that actually stayed through the pandemic. And then those are some new folks who are willing to learn. And so you just have to have a little bit of patience. And so that's what we're learning, because a lot of businesses folded and they weren't able to sustain. And so,
right. And there are still some, like the food industry, are still struggling.
They're still struggling. They are. The restaurant industry, the banquet halls, all of that. They're still struggling. It's hard finding good help now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or let alone any help.
Any help.
Let alone good help, any help.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a quick segue. So I told you before that we always ask our guests the question: is there something that you discovered on this journey that your mother didn't tell you about, prepare you for, that you stumbled upon? I'll use that word.
One thing that my mom, and she constantly still tells me this, I wouldn't say that I stumbled along, but a very good piece of advice that she constantly still gives me is making sure that I have that balance, because, you work long hours. You have to make time for yourself.
Okay.
So you can only work so much. And so you can burn yourself out. And in this industry, you can get burnt out.
Yeah.
So it's important that you take time to take care of your mental, physical well-being. And that's, your diet, your exercise, mental, everything. And so that's truly important. So she's constantly making sure that I'm eating properly and that I'm getting my rest. And so going into this, I didn't think about that at first, but how can you manage and take care of everyone else if you don't take care of yourself?
Right.
Mhm.
So that's something that she constantly still tells me and reminds me that, okay, you've been working, you've been on that computer all night or all, so, take this time for you to take a break or, to take a break from that. So
Right. Okay.
I would say that was the best advice.
Real good. Okay, I was looking here. You do you still do this? I know you were a contributing writer and featured in Michigan Meeting and Events magazine. You still collaborate with them?
I do. I actually, I'm always approached by event, magazine companies and professional organizations within the industry to give my opinion, to give my thoughts, to take surveys. So whenever they reach out to me for an interview of some sort, I am happy to do so.
All right.
Yeah, I was featured on the cover in 2019 of Meeting Planners International. It's an international magazine. And so I was happy to be interviewed for that and featured on the cover, actually.
Sweet.
Mhm.
See, I wish that was one of the things I subscribed to.
Oh, well, next time I will make sure that, I think I may even have one here. Let me see.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
I actually do. So I'll have to send you one and you have to get on the subscription list.
Nice. Because it's fading into the background. Well, I can see
of this filter.
because of the filter. But I did that.
There it is right
It's
there.
coming in now. We see you. Nice.
There it is.
Very nice.
All right.
Nice picture. What was that? Yesterday you took that picture?
I wish, man, that was a couple of years ago, right before the pandemic.
Sweet. Ain't nothing like it. Nothing like it. So
Thank you.
let me see here. Was you did the Center for Excellence Certificate Program through NMSDC and Rutgers. Was that associated with the Tuck thing, or that was totally separate
That's a
thing?
totally different mentoring program, but it was phenomenal. I mean, I learned so much through those programs. So that was another program that I was selected for. I participated in it for maybe 10 months.
Okay.
And it was sponsored by the National Minority Supplier Development Corporation and our local chapter, MMSDC, which we are a member of. And so again, we met with, the program was structured to help you to develop strategic goals for your business. And again, it made you step out of your business from doing in your business to work on your business. And so we just finished and I just completed that program in December last year.
Okay.
And learned some very key important tips and tools that we were able to implement into the business. And so that program was very important because I went through that program during the height of the pandemic, because we had to do some pivoting because we were so used to doing in-person events. And in order to stay afloat, my staff, including myself, we had to learn the virtual and digital world in terms of how to execute events online that we were accustomed to doing in person. So we had to take some additional training club courses and then figure out like, hey, this may be how we have to do business for a while. So working on my business in that COECP program helped us to develop a strategic plan so that I can say, okay, well, maybe for this year and next year that we focus on virtual events, but let's develop a 3-year plan as to how we can successfully execute events in person again, once it's safe to do so.
Right.
So I put together a 5-year plan as a result of that program. Had mentors that worked with me. I had an executive coach from a major corporation to help us succeed and help give us, tools, and they help you develop your capability statements. When you're pitching and presenting yourself to other companies to do business, there's a certain way that you have to present your material, your information. And so they worked with us to develop those, or fine tune those, I should say. So it was a very successful experience.
Wow.
Nice. Now I'm gonna ask you a question. This is one of those questions you can respectfully not answer.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, because I know there's certain things, especially we've had guests on here before that there are confidentiality things that you can't go into.
Yeah, which is true. And there are some things that I'm not unable to.
Are you able to share with us the biggest event that you've locally done?
I wouldn't say the client, so to speak, but yeah, but we've done, again, for about 3,000 attendees, similar to what I described earlier, multi-day event, locally, major Fortune 500 company here, $1 billion company. And we've been fortunate to have them as a client every year.
Okay.
So we've been working with them for about 5 or 6 years now, and we've got some other clients in our arsenal that are similar in scope, that we've been fortunate to work with every year for the past like 5, 6, 7, even 8 years.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're happy about that.
Right. And you know why I asked that question? Because I know. but I understand that, because we had a young man on who's a producer at Netflix.
Okay.
And so he was able to tell us to be on the lookout for some things, but he couldn't tell us what they were. And so we by doing this show, we've been doing it since actually the onset of the pandemic. So we've learned that there are some things that are shareable, some things they just ain't, because they just aren't.
Well, I will tell you, we have clients in various industries, from automotive. So we have clients within the automotive sector, information technology, retail, banking and finance, insurance, the food industry. So we have clients in pretty much several industries. We do events for professional sports organizations.
Okay.
Professional sports players. We handle some of their foundation and association events.
Nice.
And so you kind of have to have a variety of different clients that you service, so that if one industry is severely impacted for whatever reason, that it doesn't just create a complete work stoppage for you, you know? So that's important for us to have a diverse client base in that space, that we are represented, in various industries, healthcare, insurance, you name it.
Right. And it shows your diversity. I mean, your diversification in serving people, because that means, because you got that diverse clientele, I'm sure they don't all think the same, don't all want the same thing. So that's great.
And it helps us to grow, because we have to constantly learn their mission and their values. We don't just plan events, we design experiences, and we make sure that those events align with the company's values and mission. So we're not just off to the side planning an event. We make sure that it fits within the scope of who they are. So that helps us to continuously grow, because we're learning about these industries, learning about these companies, learning about who they are and what they are. And what I will say is, what I've found to be very important to them is your community outreach efforts. They want to know who you are as a company and what things that you support. So that's very important to us, because we're out in the community helping different organizations. We just supported a local organization for Thanksgiving, a boys group home, and provided meals to them. And we actually sat down and dined with them. So we've done it for years, and then we're actually supporting them again for Christmas. So our staff is actually going to be blessing them with Christmas gifts this year.
All right.
Wonderful. Yeah, that was one of the things I liked about you. You active in the community, and you like giving back. And then when you served as the mentor and to the students at the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy, I found that very because I really just I didn't even know nothing about Jalen Rose until I started going to the Piston games and start seeing. And then ever since then, once you start seeing somebody, now you're gonna always see them.
Well, Jalen is Mr. Detroit now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because he was the Grand Marshal at the Thanksgiving Day Parade this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's out. Go ahead.
Oh no, so I was a part of a program called Winning Futures, and so Winning Futures placed mentors in different where they were needed, and so there were some mentorship opportunities at the Jalen Rose Academy. So it was it was just a wonderful experience to be able to talk with those students, because all of them were interested in becoming entrepreneurs as well.
Okay.
So that was a very fun experience. I had an opportunity to work with them for maybe about a year or so. So that
Okay.
was
That
a lot of
was.
fun.
Yes, that was really good.
It's nice. Let me see here.
And you support the Genesis House Women's Shelter, Forgotten Harvest. I mean, wonderful.
Yeah, we provided meals to the Genesis House. That was a home for women and children that were homeless. And so Thanksgiving a couple of years ago, my whole staff and I, we as well as we partnered with some other organizations, Two Times Focus and Just Because We Care, and several other organizations all came together to provide meals. We cooked the food, we bought the food, we cooked the food, we served the food. And then we provided them with other experiences as well, because they had kids. We wanted this to be a fun experience.
Right.
So they had bounce houses and other things for the kids to do and whatnot. So it's just rewarding because you just never know what someone's going through. You never know. You may be on that end one day. So if you can bless someone else, you should do so, because it feels so good to be able to help.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
really
Yes, it does.
So a question I want to ask you, were you, because we got your bio a while back. Did you get a chance to launch that podcast?
I did not, because I've been so busy. So
right, that's why I asked.
Yeah, so it's still on the horizon. It's going to be Meeting Masters, and it's going to talk about all things related to meetings and events, things that you wouldn't, things that you may want to know, things that you need to know, share some of our experiences, talk to other meeting and event professionals. Especially now, people need to understand that because of the challenges with the pandemic, that you're working with new staff, you're working all of the venues and banquet halls and restaurants that you're going to, they're short staffed. Hotels are short staffed. So just having some patience and understanding why certain things are the way that they are. Those are some of the things that I want to talk about on the podcast. And so it's coming.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
Right. Because I knew, like I say, with all that you're doing, and then of course with the challenges of coming out of COVID, that's because we know also doing a podcast is more than what people think it is.
Yeah.
It's not just show up and ask a few questions and whoopie-doo.
Right.
It's right. So yeah, and especially with you doing see, ours is easy because it's easier because we don't concentrate on any one thing. Outside of, I will say this, is that we want to showcase African Americans and what they're doing, the things that you guys are doing in the community, outside the community, and show people that there's a path to get where you want to go if you're willing to put the work in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so your story is real inspirational to me, because you're doing a lot of stuff, and you stuck through all the extra training that you had to go through. See, that's the hard part. Like you were saying earlier, to show yourself teachable. Yeah, so that's great. So
and you constantly have to learn. I mean, you have to be open to learning. So we're still learning. So experience is the best teacher, but formalized education is definitely, beneficial and helpful as well. So we're constantly learning. I'm constantly attending webinars, training seminars. You have to learn what's new. You got to learn the latest trends in different areas of lighting, of linen and entertainment, what new entertainment options are out there, so that you can share and pass that information on to your clients. You don't want to come up with the same ideas that you had 10 years ago. So there's all kinds of new things, new technology, new ways of doing things. So you have to constantly, keep yourself in that educational.
I know this technology has blew everything up.
Right. Absolutely.
And like you said, it'd be one t-shirt, and now it's got 50 million t-shirt businesses. And they all doing it different.
Right.
Yeah.
They all doing it different.
So with all of that, what do you do for a relaxation?
See, I told you, that's my mama telling me I need to take a break. So I love to travel. I love to, I like spa days. I love to go out to restaurants, and, I love to cook, but I also love, experiencing different cuisine in different restaurants, locally as well as nationally. I like to travel. And so, I just got to do more of it. And so a little bit of retail therapy doesn't help. Doesn't hurt, I
Doesn't
should
hurt.
say.
Right,
It doesn't
right,
hurt.
Right.
It's spending time with family, friends. So those are some of the things I like to do. Doing things around the home. I love to decorate. That's therapeutic for me as well. And so I love to do home decorating and home, small home projects.
Okay.
I do it for family as well as for myself.
All right.
So so those are some of the things I enjoy doing.
Okay, now you can tell us, it ain't nobody but us listening right now, how much of that relaxation stuff winds up being just a little bit adding stuff, developing new stuff for the business?
A lot of it. It does. It does. It truly does. Because I can be somewhere and I can get an idea. But one thing I always do, of course, with technology, you've got your phones, you got your iPads. I'm always making notes of meeting and everything. So I could potentially be doing something for myself and, enjoying some R&R. But if I come across a place that I think could be beneficial to a client or something of that nature, I'm always writing, taking notes, taking pictures.
Me too.
Like,
Taking
okay, yes,
pictures.
I can use this. I can do this here and I can use that there. So
that's right.
You never turn it off. So I'm always working. That's the problem. Is that your mind is always working.
Sure.
I know. I be having to tell the Lord, stop.
Right. Like, shut it
Slow
down.
down. Okay, I got to write. I can't write as fast as I'm thinking.
It's the problem and it's the blessing.
Absolutely.
Because we, God forbid, just because you relax and that you miss out on some fantastic new idea.
Right.
Because there's always something new.
Yeah, always something. Right. So that's good.
We evolving.
So I'll ask you this, because you just said it a minute ago, but is there any one thing that you would say to anybody listening that you would give as way of advice for somebody trying to start their own business?
Definitely take advantage of mentors and coaches. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey and in your process, and no matter how much that you think there's always someone that has done what you're doing. And so if you can find that opportunity to have someone that can be a mentor to you, that you can talk to about questions to see, prevent you from making costly mistakes. Everybody has to make mistakes. It's the same thing when you're raising your kids, but you want to prevent from making costly mistakes. And so in a business, that's a lot of times what probably runs, a lot of businesses in the ground, is that financially they can't afford some of the mistakes and mishaps that they've had along the way. Had they had a coach or mentor that could have guided them before they made certain decisions and could have told them that, hey, I tried that didn't work, that may have saved them a lot. And then some of those businesses would have still possibly been in business today had they had that. So having someone that you can call and talk to about different things about your business is priceless. So didn't have that early on, but later on throughout my career, I was able to find, align myself. You have to join organizations. You got to put yourself in a place where those kind of people are
networking,
that you're aspiring to be. So you have to network. And so, making some of those connections, networking helped me to meet some of the people that I have in my life right now that have helped me along the way.
Sweet. So where do you see RSV Premier Group in the next 5 years?
So we'd like to get more into, so we love doing our corporate events locally as well as nationally, but we're looking to do more incentive programs. And what I mean by incentive programs is that you may have dealers that have multiple dealers, all around the country. And in order to incentivize them, because maybe their dealerships are doing well, or some of them are doing extremely well, they have programs for them where they'll take them to different resorts and different remote locations for multiple days and do team building, do coaching, inspiring them to continuously perform at that high level. We'd like to plan some of those events because you get to plan them in some of the best. If it's an incentive trip, you want it to be in a nice location. So you get to plan those events in the nice resorts. You get to plan, bring in keynote speakers, motivational speakers to keep them motivated to doing some of the great things that they're doing. You get to bring in entertainers to, you want to entertain them in the evening. So it's multiple components. to those type of incentive programs, we'd love to be able to do more of those. We've done those with some of our clients. We're looking to do more of those now that things are opening back up.
Okay. Okay. And so I always ask these questions in my mind, and you may not be able to answer it, may not want to. Do you have a connection with the Speakers Bureau, or how do you get your speakers?
Yes, we do. So
Okay.
we are members of several different organizations. And so again, that's where you talk with your clients and find out what their goals and objectives are. And then being a part of these organizations, and even outside of speakers bureaus, just the professional organizations that I'm a part of, you have a lot of entrepreneurs and successful business owners that are good speakers. So they may not be professionally associated with a organization, but they're great speakers because life and their experiences was the best teacher.
Sure.
And so we reach out to some of those within our networks as well and make recommendations.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're not afraid to ask.
Oh, no, I'm not afraid. No, I don't like being told no, though. So that's the thing. So, I find a way to get to yes, because no could just mean not right now, but maybe later.
Yes.
So I'm okay with it being that this isn't a good time, but if I can circle back around a little bit later when it is a good time, then that usually works out for us.
Right. That's right.
Another thing I liked at the end of your bio, you had this emblem with the stilettos and sports. How does that filter with you?
So one of my other passions, so I forgot to mention.
I missed that one.
You missed that one?
Yeah.
I was down here looking. That's
that's why okay. It's on the first page. I'm on the second page looking.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I forgot to mention is that I enjoy sports. And so I love traveling, shopping, and all that, but I love sports. Basketball, football, you name it. And so I wanted to take one of my passions for sports and turn it into an opportunity. There's several women, including one of my very best friends, that love sports and that's very knowledgeable about sports. And so I thought about, what about creating an opportunity for women to talk to other women in sports? You've got the Jalen Rose podcast, Jalen and Jacoby, and you got all these other podcasts with men. What about having one with women only, talking about sports and interviewing women in sports? You have women that are referees now, in all industries. They are agents.
Yes.
Minority owners of companies. And then you've got that just enjoy the game and that are knowledgeable about the game. So I want to create that space for women to talk women, and we're going to come on the show and we're going to look fabulous in the process with our stilettos on.
I hear you.
Okay. And we're going to talk about sports from a woman's perspective and create that opportunity for other women to dial in and participate on the show as well. So that's forthcoming.
Okay, they're very good, because I did go in and listen to the one with the woman and her daughter with the Eagles.
Okay. See?
That right. That sounds like a great idea, actually.
And also, I got my niece's mother loves football.
Okay.
She was just so short and little that she didn't play, but I'm telling you, she loves football. She'll be right there every game, and
awesome,
loves it.
Well, we know a lot of young ladies that love sports.
Love sports,
yes.
Because our daughter played basketball through college, and she went over in Europe and played for a couple of years. And her and her friends, they love sports.
Love sports.
Love sports. So that sounds like
that
a great
would be
idea.
perfect. Yeah.
Sound like a great
So
idea.
stay tuned for that. So I will keep you posted. But yes, we want to bring women on. We want to talk to women at the collegiate level, at the professional level, various sports industries. It could be track and field, what have you. So I just love sports, and I think women nowadays are empowered to do just about anything that they want to do. So we want to have a platform that where they can come on and kind of talk about and share some of the things that they're doing and their struggles
they're
and
dealing with.
They're dealing with being a woman in this industry.
I like that. I think you need to hurry up and get that going.
It's coming.
Sports, I like that.
So you have on your background your contact information. You want to go ahead and share it out loud?
Oh, sure. So if anyone is interested in reaching me, I can be reached at tbrown@rsvppremier.com. Our office number is 248-663-4107. And the website is www.rsvppremier.com.
All right.
And we're
Awesome.
updating the site, but you can still reach us on the website. Yeah,
Okay.
we're
Mhm.
currently having it updated as we speak.
All right, cool.
Oh, that was so wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Right. Yeah, because this is going to be on we have a YouTube channel too. So
Okay.
this is going to be posted to the YouTube. That'll be the place where anybody who wants to hear this after the fact, they can actually see what we're seeing
Got
now,
it.
Mhm.
as
Okay.
opposed to just listening but you always have the podcast sites that you can just listen if you're driving in your car and want to listen. So, so
Oh, yeah. Because I got people that don't just want to listen to music. They listen to podcasts while they drive.
while they're driving.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing now. People are listening
Yeah.
to things that are motivational.
Motivational.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to let you get out of here on this. Is there any other thing that you want to share that you haven't shared so far?
Only bit of advice that I would say to anyone is to this is the perfect opportunity to take that passion and turn it into a business. Don't be afraid to do so. Even if you started part-time while you're still working a full-time job, but now is as better time as any to take the opportunity to follow your passion. So that's what I did, and we're still growing. So I'm blessed and thankful for where we are, but we're still growing. And so I'm looking forward to the next 5 years within our business. And I would like to encourage someone else to follow their passion as well.
Right. And see this shirt I'm wearing. One of our guests.
What does it say? I can't see. What does it say?
It says faith over fear.
Absolutely. Yeah.
One of our guests, this is a shirt that she made, faith over fear.
Absolutely, because faith and fear can't live in the same place. And so when it can't. So
Right.
you have to have faith, and then you have to let that go. You pray about it and you have faith, and you will persevere.
Yeah, right. That's right. Well, we thank you for coming on
It
here.
was so wonderful getting to know you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
Without
It's been a pleasure to talk to you both. And
Yes.
I
We
look forward
appreciate
to
you.
maybe coming back and sharing, once we, see how some things progress with us in the business. And I'd love to come do a follow-up at some point.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you to do it this way. I'll be thinking about you. But if at any time, if I haven't gotten back with you about being on here, reach out to me.
Okay.
And,
I
and
most certainly will.
I'll make room for you.
And I'm
Okay.
gonna let my daughter know too. I say, look at this podcast and see how you can grow your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Yeah. So
it'll
we
be a
appreciate
pleasure.
you.
All
Okay.
right,
Well, thank you
then,
both so much. You have a wonderful
Thank
evening.
you.
And you
Okay.
too. Thank
All righty.
you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Love it.